Hello and a very cold welcome back to the garden. No matter what the season, there's always going to be plant material coming out of your garden. In this video I'm going to show you how to use this to your maximum benefit to really help promote soil fertility and help you grow better crops. Now I think we all know of, or at least have heard of, chop and drop. It comes from permaculture and it's very much does what it says on the tin. You chop down plant material and then you drop it on the surface. There's a lot of information out there on how to do chop and drop, but not really enough about why. And it's the why that's going to bring the biggest differences to your garden. Permaculture is all about working with nature rather than against it, and using nature to help inspire us to create effective systems. So for example, most plants in nature, they will just live, grow and then die back down in the exact same spot. So as these leaves and stems decompose, they're returning the nutrients back down into this very soil that they grew from. As plants die down, they're providing organic material to the soil, which over time turns into soil organic matter. Organic matter is what we need to take seriously. It is a reservoir of nutrients and water for our plants, and on average, for every 1% increase of soil organic matter in a square metre, that square metre of soil will be able to hold an additional 4 UK gallons of water. From my rough calculations, if I increase the soil organic matter of all of the raised beds in this garden by 1%, this garden will be able to hold around 320 gallons more of water within the soil. And that's the equivalent of about 150 full watering cans or 1.5 IBC tanks. Now, on average, increasing soil organic matter requires quite a lot of organic material. So you need around 10 kilos of organic material to create a kilo of organic matter. Now compost isn't even fully broken down organic matter, but it's one of the best ways, along with chop and drop and growing cover crops that die back naturally, in increasing your soil organic matter naturally. On the subject of organic matter, I want to share a quick extract from the Noble Research Institute, which I think really helps link in chop and drop and also no dig. So organic matter is stable in the soil. It has been decomposed until it is resistant to further decomposition. Usually only around 5% of it mineralizes yearly. That rate increases if temperature, oxygen and moisture conditions become favorable for decomposition, which often occurs with excessive tillage. And what we get from this is two things. A is the fact that a little bit is mineralized every year, which means we shouldn't stop striving to build soil fertility and build organic matter levels. And the second is how excessive tillage can actually mean that we lose that organic matter rate a lot quicker than we ever want. So for that reason, I feel that using chop and drop in the right context, as well as applying compost using no-dig principles over your beds, is going to be a winning combination to improve the health and fertility of your soil. How can we fully utilize chop and drop to our advantage in our quest of increasing the percentage of soil organic matter? The first one is that there's actually two different types of chop and drop. There's a normal chop and drop where you clear a bed, you chop up the material and then you place it directly over the same space. And the second is chop, move and drop. This is where you may have a comfrey patch, you collect it and you move it to where you want it, for example your tomato plants, and drop it there and then. There are two really important factors for chop and drop. The first is how thick should the layer be. So for slug prone climates like here in the UK, I recommend a light covering of roughly around 0.5 centimetre to 1 centimetre thick. Now if you don't suffer from slug problems, be my guest, make it 2, 3, 4 inches thick, 7 centimetre thick. If you have enough plant material, absolutely go for it. The second fundamental for chop and drop is actually you want to leave your plant roots in the ground. This is all organic material that is going to turn into organic matter. You might as well leave it there. It's also great for the soil biology. So just chop your plants at the base, and by leaving them in the ground it also means less disturbance to the soil, again helping promote the soil health. And just a little tip for slug prone climates as well is you don't want to drop big leaves like that on the surface because it's going to be perfect habitat for slugs to hide underneath. So all you do is use your triceps to chop these up nice and finely, or you can actually run a lawnmower over your plant material to chop it up quickly, and then you can spread that over your bed. Chop and drop isn't just something you do when you clear old plants out of a bed or at the end of the season. It's also as you're going about and you're harvesting crops. Here's a Swede, aka a rutabaga. So what you do is you harvest a vegetable, and then before heading down into the kitchen, I'm just gonna put that to one side, and then these leaves, I can just go along and drop the plant material back where it grew. Just like in nature, where the plant grows and then dies, it's returning the nutrients back into the ground. What about just putting all the material on a compost pile first? Well, when you think about it, in nature, you don't have a plant material being removed and then decomposed and turned into compost and then brought back unless it's a bird obsessed with a certain fruit tree. What happens is that, as I said before in this video, the nutrients stay in that place. So I like to use a hybrid. Around maybe 2/3 up to 80% of my plant material will go into a compost bin, but what I'm moving towards is using more chop and drop, because if you think about it, especially in peak summer when you're not actually mulching your beds with any compost, using chop and drop is a great way to apply a little boost of fertility to your beds. So what about woody material? How suitable is this for chop and drop? Well, not at all. The idea with chop and drop is to only use that soft annual growth because you want that material to break down as much as possible. This woody growth is something that I will chop up a bit, but put it on a compost bin to let it break down over a year or two. I hope that this video makes you think a little bit about how to use chop and drop and how to add it as part of your kind of soil building toolkit. But even though that's a great job to do at this time of year, nothing is better than at the end of the gardening day having a fire, drinking a cup of tea and letting those short evenings take over.